this debate, but I can guarantee you that most men out there do not like or love their partner, girlfriend, wives, whatever. Most of them actually hate them. But just because they're super rational in the way they think, they get into a relationship just because it's a convenient thing for them. Most men are with you just by pure convenience. So if you pay 50-50, by 50-50 I mean 30-70, 80-20, whatever. If you pay the basic needs in the household, he uses you. Whether you like it or not, argue with yourself, I don't really care. But your man doesn't like you if he makes you pay.
You should never believe a man is going to tell you the truth. A man will lie to your face every second he can get. A man will lie to you about the fact that he woke up this morning and you're literally having a whole conversation with him. Men lie. It's in the Bible.
No, because I genuinely couldn't understand how a man could fumble me yet again. And then I realized it's literally because he's gay and he's hiding. Like, bruh, why have I never realized this? Because there's just no way. There's no other explanation but that he's gay, and there's no judgment. This is a judge-free zone. But, like, that's literally the only possibility. Because what? I'm sorry, but, like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, we need to stop blaming ourselves and understand that some of these men, like, just probably are gay. And they don't like women. Like, that's literally the only possibility. And I figured it out. And what a great way to start the new year is realizing some men are just gay. It's not because they don't like you. It's literally they like men. Great.
I think the reason why so many men want to be chased right now is because they're tired of being replaced. You've probably been hurt, and they know that most women have a ton of options, especially if you're conventionally attractive, you're somewhat attractive, or even if you're average. You're like, there's a good chance you have way more people in your DMs trying to get to be with you than they do. And I'm not agreeing with this at all. Like, I'm not with like being chased. Like, I have no problem like chasing somebody I'm really interested in. But I think with like the pandemic, the fact that more people are on their phones online and they don't have any type of social skills or social interaction makes things worse. A lot of guys want to be chased because they don't have any other way of getting a girl, because they don't even know how to approach a woman, let alone hold a conversation. Let's be real, a lot of fucking guys are weird. A lot of the guys who do get to hang out with girls sometimes ruin it for the rest of the other guys. And now girls don't want to meet up with guys because guys are fucking weird. On top of that, I think with social media in general, men have been comparing themselves to like other people online, just kind of like how women have their entire the whole entire existence with like celebrities, magazines. Now, because attractive men are a lot more in your face, social media, guys are just comparing themselves and they feel like they're not adequate enough to like approach a woman, or they don't make enough money, they're not handsome enough, they're not tall enough, whatever. It might be a combination of all these things, but nonetheless, like, as a man, we still gotta approach women. I still firmly believe, like, if you find someone attractive and you're genuinely interested, you like their traits, bro, go after them, talk to them, have a conversation. If they're not reciprocating that energy, then fuck it, call it quits, on to the next one.
Why men switch up after sex, but in a life-changing explanation that will totally change the way you view power dynamics. In the beginning of a relationship with a man, you have all the power. This is you. And the man has none of the power. This is him. The reason you have all the power is because at the beginning of the relationship, the man has not slept with you, he has not been intimate with you, and he does not have full access to you. So in order for the man to get full access to you, what does he do? He courts you by taking you out on nice dates, complimenting you, telling you how much he cares about you and wants to be with you, all of these beautiful things. And eventually he convinces you that you should give him what he wants, which is whatever's between your legs. And when you finally give him what he wants, woo, he's happy now. And now the power dynamic has totally changed in the complete opposite direction. Because now as the man, he no longer has to do things in order to earn that full access to you. He is no longer seeking your approval in anything because he has you in the exact way that he wants you. And you're spending all your time trying to keep him desiring you, even though he already has you how he wants you. So your job is to recognize that you have the most power at the beginning of the relationship before you give him anything, and use that power to determine whether he is serious or unserious. Determine whether he will be a long-term, sustainable, real partner to you, or whether he's going to take that power dynamic and power switch to his advantage and run away.
Post-nut clarity is the reason why a lot of women get ghosted. And I really need us as women to understand this. A lot of women do not understand how focused on sex most men are, and this is a hill I will die on. Outside of a professional environment, maybe even in them sometimes, a lot of your interactions with men, that man has considered you sexually in that moment. And what happens if the thought is appealing enough to him, he will go into hunt mode. Now, when men are in hunt mode, confusion. Because men will do and say almost anything to get the box. You can think a man is in love with you because he wants the box so bad. Men have dropped the bag to get the box. There is not a lot that a lot of men will not do to get their box if they are thirsty for it. And men are always thirsty for the box. It's just whose. So what happens is men are operating a lot of times from horniness. And horniness to men is like hunger. So imagine just when you are so hungry. When you are hungry, you just want to eat so bad. So you're looking for food, looking for food, looking for food. And sometimes you can finally get the food. And what happens? You feel sick. That is the exact definition of post-nut clarity. So that man wants your box so bad. And he's putting so much pressure and just doing everything to make you happy so he can get it. And when he gets it, it's like he's woken up. And he's like, hold on, what's going on here? Oh, no. And that is why a man can go from 0 to 100 with you like that. So ladies, this is why I always say, when you are dating a man, make him court you consistently. And I'm talking about over months, several months. And also give you a commitment before you ever let him taste the box. And the reality is, a lot of you know what I'm saying is the truth because you can look back on your dating history and see situations where this has happened. So ladies, now we are more clued up. Let's do better. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you. Mwah.
He stopped texting me, calling me after we slept together. What do I do? When a man stops texting, calling, making communication after you have been physically intimate, it is an opportunity for you to gather data on the relationship and on the man and on his level of attraction. When men are highly invested, regardless of when you have intimacy, they will continue to behave the way they used to prior to being intimate. These are the men that you want to invest any emotion, time, or attention into. If he changes, then he came for what he wanted and he's got it and he's going to leave. Let him go. Don't chase him. Don't pursue him. Don't try and convince him. Don't send him sexy pics. Let him go. He just simply did not come to get to know you. He got what he wanted and now he's gone. And, that's just how it is.
If the guy you're talking to wants you to text him first, chase him, stuff like that, you're actually talking to a girl.
All you men that want to be chased, what's your favorite makeup brand? Yalla.
These men are looking at women and saying, you gifted, you smart, you beautiful, you sexy, you could get any body you want, you could get the lashes you want, you could get the hair you want, you could get the skin you want, you could get the job you want. You got natural industries like cosmetics and things of that nature to where you can make 6 figures because of being a woman. You got certain concessions. You got grants out here for you, woman-owned business, minority-owned business, minority woman-owned business. You got these different funds for women-owned businesses. You make more than me. You can make more than me in your sleep. I got to use my hands to earn. When I use my mind to earn, I'm not that good at it. So I cannot control you because not only do you not need to cook for me and clean for me because you're not a chef or a maid, but you can actually pay for a chef or a maid if you really wanted to. And because I'm working with my hands or I'm bumping my gums on a podcast, I'm not really all the way in that position. So now I can't control you. I can't tell you what to do because you actually work harder than me and you make more money than me. You got more going than me. So really, I need to be cooking for you and folding your clothes and changing the baby diapers. And I need to be the CEO of home instead of you being the CEO of home because you actually the CEO of your own business. That's why these men butt hurt today. That's why they butt hurt today. And that's why they butt is actually hurting literally. They going to men now and they getting power drive in the rectum by other men because they so upset and mad with women. They so just out of order and just disillusioned by women that they sit and they talk bad about women so much with other men that they start to fall in love with these men on the podcast with them. They start to fall in love with the chest and the back muscles and the conversation skills of these men that they sitting there bashing women about, and they forgetting they call in the world. They forgetting that if you man enough, it don't matter what a woman make and what she do, she's still gonna respect you as a man if you man enough. And so guys is coming and they saying like, oh, these women disrespectful, these women this and that. And it's really like these certain women, they saying, hey, you got to pay the piper. Like, you're not finna come and try to cheat and be cheating on me and disrespecting me and thinking you finna run me like no slave when I'm out here getting it. I got my freedom now, Kunta. I ain't up under your thumb. But see, what happened is we come from a time to where we had women under our thumb. We was able to beat on women. We was able to cheat on women. We was able to spit in a woman's face. We was able to cuss a woman out. We were able to take all our pain out on a woman, our mama, our grandma, our auntie, and then our girlfriend, then our wife. We was able to just dog a woman out. A woman got to deal with all our trauma. She got to deal with all our tears. She got to deal with all our anger. She got to deal with all our frustration. She got to deal with all our failure. She got to deal with everything.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife, right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner. Yeah, she can fuck us good, but if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen with your family? And so I just encourage men to be, I'm not going to say more because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing in between. Check this out. A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs.
Cam Newton is looking over at that man like, I know you lying. Who brought you on here to say this today? I bet you any amount of money. The way Cam was blinking, the way he was blinking and had like nothing to say, it was because in his head, he's like, who should I fire for bringing him on here? Because he's clocking my tea right now. This is really me. And how does he know this? Because I really believe that Cam does not like women. This is why he goes from woman to woman. This is why he humiliates Jasmine, even though she's his rider and she's been everything that he's needed he still is not going to show her the respect that she deserves because he doesn't like her. How many times do he have to show these women that? How many broken homes does he have to create for us to get it? The way he was looking at him though, I mean, I just had to screenshot that because you can't make this stuff up. Who agrees with me? I know y'all might have recently saw Jasmine talking about how sometimes she just needs support. But a lot of people aren't going for that, and they're not really feeling bad for her because everybody was trying to warn her about this man, tell her about this man, tell her about this man, and she was saying everybody was wrong, they need to mind their business. Oh, you would never, because you could never. You never could. That's why you're not me, you're not like me, and all that, you know. Not word for word, but essentially that's what she was saying. She was throwing Cam in everybody's face, acting like he was God's gift. Now you struggling with your postpartum and you don't have nobody and you're giving him all of you. And you realizing this might not be all it's cracked up to be. What y'all think about Cam? Y'all think that guy was on to something and he was feeling it, or I'm just reaching for the stars?
One of the biggest lies I used to tell myself, but I thought was the truth when I was single before I got married, was men are intimidated by me. I thought because I had a house, a car, been driving BMW since I was 24 years old, I thought that because I made a lot of money that men just couldn't handle it, they were intimidated, and they were turned off because I was doing better than them. That is one of the biggest lies, or the things that we think, when really the problem is us. If you find yourself saying, well, men are just intimidated by me, I make too much money, they don't like that I'm just direct and I stand up for myself. If you keep getting that kind of results from men, most likely it's not because they're intimidated, they just don't like you. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean or to be like nasty, but that was what I was going through. They thought I was attractive, they liked being around me, but they just weren't into me because the way that I exuded my ego. A lot of women don't realize when they make money and they have all these accomplishments, the ego drives the conversation. It drives your energy, how you carry yourself, how you interact with men, where your ego is like, well, because you're not on my level, da 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 da. And nobody wants to be treated like that, man or woman. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Girl with the pink dress on Pop the Balloon. A lot of people were like, oh, I like her personality. She seems funny. She seems cool. She even said she was a sweetheart. And all those things can be true. That does not mean that's what's attractive to a man. Ladies, the things that we like about ourselves and the things that we like about our homegirls does not mean that men find that attractive or want that to be what they want in a relationship. And I'm not saying change who you are to appease a man, but if you're not getting the results that you want in the dating sphere and you want to be married, you have to check how you talk to people, how you treat people, the energy you have. Normally it stems from childhood. Normally it stems from being an overachiever. It stems from being somebody that's very type A. It stems from being somebody that is a perfectionist. Normally, when people are like that to themselves, they're hyper critical of other people. So if you tend to have this personality trait where you're very defensive, you're standoffish, you have your guard up 24/7, 365, and you don't know how to let your hair down and have fun and speak to people lightly, gracefully, then you could probably have this problem. So just do some self-reflection, sis. It might not be because he's intimidated. He might just not like you.
A lot of good girls can't find a man because men do not like good girls. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to explain to you why, but men do not like good girls. So for the purpose of this video, when I say good girl, I'm referring to a girl who just stays out of the mix, minds her business, goes to work, goes to school, doesn't really post too much on Instagram or TikTok, doesn't really want attention from strangers, isn't promiscuous, doesn't really show off her body, and so on and so forth, right? And you would think that that is what a man would want, but the reality of the situation is that's the opposite of what most of them want. Why though? Why don't they like good girls? Here's a little bit of context. These days, men are not saying they want a good bitch, right? They say they want a bad bitch. And they use the word bad to explain a woman who is hot or sexy or promiscuous because it refers to the things that she's gonna do in bed, which are naughty, which are bad, right? So that's one of the reasons why they don't like good girls, is because they think that when you are bad, you are going to be better in bed. Second is, most men these days are not on the hunt for a woman who's going to be a good mother to their children. Most men these days are quick to knock up any woman and let her have his kids without stopping to think, is she going to be a good mother? So that's one of the other reasons why they're not on the hunt for good women. Third is most good girls are predictable. That's why they're good. They're predictable. They follow society's expectations of what a good girl should be. They follow their parents' expectations of what a good woman should be. And that doesn't excite men. We know that men like pain. We know that men like toxic women. We know that men like problems in their relationships. That's what keeps them in it. That's what keeps them excited. They're sick. They're mentally twisted. But this is reality. This is the reality of the situation. That is why the good girls get treated the worst, because they're not exciting. They're bland. They're predictable. Fourth is that most bad girls are selfish, and selfishness actually makes men work harder to be in a relationship with you, because most good girls are people pleasers. Most good girls are satisfied with the bare minimum because they're good, right? They don't want to ask for too much because that's bad, right? These are all things that society made up for us to follow, but when you categorize yourself as a good girl, what you're telling the man is, I will go above and beyond to please you. You don't have to go above and beyond to please me because I'm satisfied with the bare minimum. That's not what they want. And that's why the bad girls, the toxic girls, the ones who ask for too much, constantly get provided for, constantly get what they want, because men like that. They like having to always reach a little higher. They like having to always do a little more. That's what excites them and keeps them in the relationship. And lastly, most good girls are waiting to be picked, and most bad girls don't want to be picked. And that's why the men always go for the women that they know are out of their league, because they're like, if I can just get her, if I can just convince her to look at me, if I can just get a minute of her attention. Whereas with the good girl, it's not that much of a reward, because the good girl is expecting to be picked. She is waiting to pour her love into someone else. Now, the point of this TikTok is not to make good girls feel like they have to start being bad girls. But if I have one piece of advice for good girls who want to find a man, it's to pretend to be a bad girl. Because to be honest, they're not smart enough to tell the difference. So all you got to do is just pretend that you are a bitch. Okay? And you got to make them work a little harder for your attention, even though deep down inside, you want to pour your love into them. You want to give them affection. You want to praise them. You want to please them. That's fine. Those are not bad things. You just can't do it right off the bat because they want to hunt. They want to pursue. They want to be challenged. And you got to play the game. You got to play the game. If you want a man who actually values you, you got to play the game. You got to make him feel like you could walk away at any minute. So he better cross his fucking T's and dot his I's. You know what I mean? And that's really difficult for a lot of good girls to do. So my piece of advice is just watch what the women that they are following on Instagram and social media are talking about and posting, and pretend to be like that. Just pretend. You don't have to actually be like that. Just pretend. Because as long as you are a good girl and you define yourself as a good girl, men are going to wait until they have ran through all the women that they want to run through, and then they're going to come pick you. And by then, you're going to be disgusted by them. You're going to be like, I don't even want you. You went through all these women, and now you want a good girl. No, babe. That's not how it works. You got to pretend to be bad. Pretend to be a bitch and make him think that his life is gonna suck without you, and you could walk away at any moment until you have him on lock. Then you could open up, then you could start showing your love, then you could start showing affection. Then they feel like they earned it, and then they value it even more. So don't be loving, don't be good, don't be giving right off the bat. Don't change yourself. Just pretend, okay?
You see a man that's always angry with a woman and he don't like women and he's always saying something negative about a woman. Why is that?
Maybe because he's hurt?
No. Yeah, he's hurt because he can't walk in his truth. He's hurt because really he want to lay down with his homeboy, but for the world he has to be with a woman. It's clear as day. I see it happen all the time. There's no reason why a man should always be upset with a woman. What it is a lot of men struggle with their sexuality. What it is a lot of men can't walk in their truth. What it is a lot of men have to deal with women for their family's sake, for business, for image. But when a man is constantly aggressive and mean and evil and beating on a woman, on that list of demons that he's fighting is sexuality.
Shout out to the Passport Bro team. Shout out to the 5B movement team. Shout out to the Red Pills team. Shout out to the Drizzle team. Shout out to the Incel team. Shout out to the Women Are This. Shout out to the 50-50. Shout out to the What Do You Bring to the Table. Shout out to Because of Women. It's because of women. Women are this. Women are that. Submissive women. Shout out to the men who say, I want a virgin women. Oh, da. Shout out to those who say, why do women don't look like my mother? Why do women don't look like my great mother? Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
To date, I mean, guys don't court anymore. They don't court. Take me out to dinner.
Say you're gonna pick me up at a certain time.
Yeah.
I remember dating should be an event, you know?
Yes.
You like the guy, so you want to get pretty for him, so you spend all day in the
Yes.
spa. What happened to that?
Some of these guys want you to sit here and fucking chase them. Stop chasing them. Men are hunters. They are meant to hunt after the women that they actually want. I'm not sitting here saying you keep playing hard to get and all this shit, but I'm saying stop being the man in the relationship. Get back in your feminine energy.
These are a few signs that'll let you know when a man wants you to chase him. They'll play hard to get. When a man is playing hard to get, he's not going to give you everything you want. He'll give you enough just to keep you interested, and then he'll start pulling away. A man who wants you to chase him is going to play hard to get, so he's not going to make it easy for you. He's going to employ the push-pull method so that he keeps you interested, and the push-pull dynamic is what creates an intrigue. And what you do in response is you go silent. If you see any sign of inconsistency, any sign of pulling back, you don't ask why, you don't explain, you don't let them know how you feel about it, you just disappear. If it's not consistent, it's not going to serve you. It's only going to confuse you. Something else that men do when they want you to chase them is they will flake on you last minute. And they do that to see how bothered you are about it. If a man flakes on you last minute and he doesn't bother to reschedule, he clearly has no interest in you, but he has an interest in you chasing him so that you could stroke his ego by validating him. What you don't want to do if you get flaked on is start tripping and start crashing out. You don't want to do that because then you're showing him how much you care and how bothered you are. You have to go unbothered about the situation and don't let it affect you. And something else that a man will do is he'll talk about other women to you to see how you react. Once again, if you react like an insecure woman asking all these questions about these women who he's talking about, how do they look? Are they pretty? You know, how long have you known him for, etc. He's going to think that you're now chasing his approval the way these other women are chasing him. So what do you do in a situation like that when a dude is bragging to you about other women? You walk away. You don't entertain that nonsense because only an emotionally immature man is willing to brag about other women to a woman who he's spending a night out with. The only type of women who chase are women who have low self-esteem, they're insecure, they're desperate, and they're needy. You don't want to be that woman because that's the kind of woman he expects you to be if he wants you to chase him.
There's a lot of men dating right now that expect you to chase them. And the sad part is, some of y'all are tempted to do it. So here's your daily reminder. You were not placed on this earth to chase after no man. You know why? Because running after a man's heart that don't want to be caught in the first place is how your crown fall off. Don't you start doubting your self-esteem? When you chasing after a man that don't want to get caught, you start to say, am I valuable? Am I worth it? Am I really a good catch? Some of y'all are giving years of your life to a man that don't want to be nobody's husband. And you chasing month after month. When we gonna get married? He don't know. Some of y'all double texting back a man that ain't replied. You chasing that man. You ain't the first thing on that man's mind. He don't got time out of the day to hit you up. But yet you hit him up, you chasing him. Anytime the effort is unevenly yoked during dating, you are chasing instead of having a man to pursue you. Let me tell you something. A man that pursues, he dates with purpose, intention, and a plan. But when a man is devoid of that and purpose and direction during dating, and he's going with the flowy, when you're intentional, don't it seem like you leading during dating? Don't it seem like you the one that's trying to ask for clarity? Don't it seem like you chasing him? I guess what I'm saying is, if God really wanted you to chase a man, he would have gave you track shoes. But instead, baby girl, you wearing heels and a crown and you got a tiara or whatever, whatever. My point is, I don't think that when he wrote the scripture, he who finds a wife, he meant that you had to chase that man in order to be found.
Men hate child-free women because children were a means to control us. Men hate unmarried women because marriage was also a way to control us. I find it so hilarious whenever a woman who knows her worth and is so confident in herself knows that she doesn't want to have kids or knows that she doesn't want to get married. And the disgusting ass men that you wouldn't even touch with a 10-foot pole is up in her comments, projecting their own insecurities and fears onto her. Men just can't stand the fact that women can be on their own and independent and self-sufficient. It's men that need us. It's men that need women. It's no surprise, women are abundant beings. We are able to provide emotional and mental labor in a way that men have never done. I fully support women's decisions. I fully support women not wanting to have children or not wanting to get married. I am personally a woman who wants to get married, but I personally do not want to ever have kids. Why would I ruin my body for that? Why would I put my own life on pause for that? Sorry, I like to live life for me.
A lot of men like women, but they don't like feminine energy. Because feminine energy leans on masculine energy, and you need to be masculine to be able to deal with that shit. Because let's think about it. At the surface, a woman is very playful. She's very intuitive. She's very empathetic. There's so many things to love about a woman at the surface. But after all of those things, she then goes to being vulnerable. And then she surrenders. And then she leans on a man. She then depends on a man. She then becomes insecure about her man. She then becomes emotional about her man. And those are all qualities that a real masculine man should be able to deal with. Because when you masculine, you don't mind communicating because you're ambitious. And when you're ambitious, you're goal driven, you're action driven, you're doing driven. So if you have real ambition towards taking care of the woman that's around you, that ain't shit. That ain't nothing but another challenge. But masculinity is confused as being these big dog, macho man ass people. No, masculine energy is all predicated on feminine energy. And if you can't deal with feminine energy, then you're not really that masculine. Masculine ain't no macho man shit. It's being able to be the problem solver for all of the problems that the feminine have. And that's what the feminine energy is, being a problem solver for all of the problems that the masculine have. So it goes hand in hand. But I do feel like there's a lot of lust attached towards women rather than love attached to women, because if there was real love there, then you wouldn't have no issue dealing with a woman's qualities when she really taps into them. So if you don't like feminine energy, then you're just not masculine.
Bro, my homeboy girl just called him and she was like, hi, and he was like, hey, what's up? Nigga don't like his girlfriend. But when the guy are you serious? But when the guys call him, he'd be like, yo, oh god.
Can you come back home?